Okay, so now let me see if I can increase the font size. Just give me a second. So here input font size 18. Okay, some reason it's not increasing. Okay, all right, now you can see it clearly. So all right, so what I'm going to do is I have written a Mathematica code here in order to generate the element stiffness and element force vectors based on your choice of whether you want to go with linear interpolation or quadratic interpolation within the element. So all of you from now onwards, whenever you are using the finite element method, I want you to explicitly tell yourself and tell others what is the kind of interpolation you are using for the solution within the element. It's a good practice. So you can, so when you are using two nodes per element, you can say that you are using a linear interpolation and therefore you are taking number of nodes as 2 within the element, or you can say that you are using quadratic interpolation and you are taking 3 nodes within the element. Okay, so wherever the solution varies sharply, okay, there particularly using higher order interpolation is important, otherwise you may be missing out on what is happening in your problem. Anyhow, so what am I doing? So fine, so first, so I am saying that n equals to 3. So how many interpolation functions will I have for the element? If I am having 3 nodes, how many interpolation functions will I have per element? 3. So number of interpolation functions is equal to the number of nodes in this problem. Okay, so fine, so I am going to initialize it. So let me just put a comment here. So this is initialization of interpolation functions. Okay, ideally we should initialize it to 0. So if I want to initialize it to 0, what I can do is I can just multiply this with 0. So now if I do that, then psi is initially 0 0 0. Then what I am going to do is I will initialize my element stiffness matrix. What will be the size of element stiffness matrix? In this problem, what will be the size of element stiffness matrix? KEIJ. What will be the range of I, range of J? 3 cross 3. So both of them, KEIJ, I and J will take values of 1 to small n. So their size will be small n cross small n. Okay. So fine. So I am defining some identity matrix and unit vector, multiplying it with 0 in order to get in order to get a 0 matrix initially for KE and a 0 vector for FE. So fine, so let me do this. Okay. Next, what I do next, now depending on value of n, I will have to use different interpolation functions for different values of n. So if n equals to 2, by the way, if it is equal to, you have to use 2 equals. Okay. If you use 1 equal to, then what is the meaning? It is assigning that value. It is an assignment. So in MATLAB and Mathematica, when you use equal to symbol only once, then it is a assignment. On the other hand, when you use it twice, then basically it is you are talking about whether it is equal to or not equal to and all that. So if n equals to 2, so I have to use 2 equals, then what am I saying? my first interpolation function psi1 is 1 minus x bar, and second interpolation function is x bar. Now on the other hand, if I'm using quadratic interpolation, then what are my functions? First interpolation function is, what are its roots? Its roots are half and 1. So x bar is going from 0 to 1, and the three nodes are at x bar equals to 0, x bar equals to half, and x bar equals to 1. So for the first interpolation function, the roots are at x bar equals to half and x bar equals to 1. So fine, so I am writing it as, you can write it as x bar minus half into x bar minus 1, or half minus x bar into half 1 minus x bar, whichever way. Now at x bar equal to 0, it must have a value 1. So I have to multiply it with a constant 2. Now for the second interpolation, what are the roots?
0 and 1.
0 and 1. So I can write it as x bar minus 0 into 1 minus x bar, and for x bar equal to half, it should have a value 1. So I have to multiply it with a factor 4. And lastly, for this psi e3, for this psi e3, okay, what happened? 1 second. So for psi e3, it will be, roots are half and 0, so it will be x bar into half minus x bar, and at x bar equal to 1, it must have value 1. So for that I am going to multiply it with minus 2. So these are my three interpolation functions. Now once,
Sir?
yeah.
Sir, in that, under the same if condition, you define a second if. They should be separately, right?
Not, no, it's okay. See, how the way the if statement works in Mathematica is like this. So if you don't know, you just select it, function f1. So if you select function f1, it is going to give you the syntax for if function. Okay, so this is the syntax for if function. So what is it? So first you state the condition, then you state what happens if it is true, and what happens if it is false. Okay, so what I am saying is that okay, if this condition is met, then do this. Okay, if it is not met, then do this. Now if it is not met, then it could be n equals to 3, n equals to 4, anything, right? So
Yes,
again I am saying that, okay fine, if n is not equals to 2, you check whether n equals to 3. If n equals to 3, then do this assignment. Okay.
Okay.
So this is the reason. I could have simply put this psi equals to this, but it would be not completely correct. Okay, because I can also have n equals to 4. I can have any number for number of nodes per element. Okay, so anyhow, you can write syntax accordingly. So once you define your interpolation functions, then getting matrices is very trivial. So what do? So you say, okay, you first loop over I. So you say for I equals to 1 to small n, what do you do? For Fe, okay, this force vector Fe of I, what was it? It was integral x bar equal to 0 to 1 of Fe into psi ei into He into dx bar. Okay, that's what it was. So I write down this in analytical form. And what is the range of integration? X bar going from 0 to 1. That's it. And then for j equals to 1 to n, you write keij as equal to integral, okay, integral he whole multiplied by a into d psi ei by dx bar into d psi ej by dx bar divided by he square plus c into psi ei into psi j. This has to be evaluated from x bar equal to 0 to 1. So let me evaluate this. Okay, so now I have done this for n equals to 3. So for n equals to 3, if I say matrix form of KE, okay, why am I saying matrix form? If I simply say KE, what will I get? I will get it in this double bracket form, which is not very, you cannot see it clearly. So I am saying matrix form of KE. Let me increase the font size. Okay, so matrix form of KE. So now you see you get the analytical form for KE, and similarly you can get analytical form for FE, and you can do the same with this for n equals to 2. So let me, what I will do is, so let them be displayed, then I will go run this same program for n equals to 2, and for n equals to 2 it has run. I will first evaluate matrix form of KE. I get this, then again I go ahead and I do matrix form of FE. Is this okay? So my Mathematica program can evaluate all these matrices for me. See, once you confirm that your code is right, the advantage is that see, element matrix computation is a lot of algebra. Okay, you have to do all these domain integrals, and when you do it by hand, there is a very high chance that you are going to make a mistake somewhere in evaluation of these matrices. And if you make a mistake in element matrix computation, then your code of course will give you some garbage results. So that is the reason that Mathematica comes in really handy over here. So after I have done this, I have checked my matrices with that displayed in the textbook, so to make sure that it is correct. Okay, so